Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi attended on Wednesday the 34th Armed Forces Cultural Seminar titled Crossing to the Future on the occasion marking the 48th anniversary of the 6th of October victory. We are going to talk about this in more detail, especially that the President himself was talking about the 6th of October war, asserted also that it remains a turning point in Egypt's history, adding that its anniversary represents the symbols of dignity, strong will and pride. Over the phone we have with us College of Command and Staff Advisor Mohamed Shahawy. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So first of all, I would like to shed the light on the impact of the 6th of October war victory, talking about it from an important aspect, the actually a turning point in the military, Egyptian military in general.
Yes, the 6th of October war is considered a miracle on any military measure, and it has a spirit. This spirit of October war was force and strength and determination and hope. Also, it is considered as a medal for every Egyptian and Arab, because the nations emerged from the trenches of despair to the shores of hope. Yesterday, there was a mini message in the president's speech. In the president's speech during the 34th Educational Symposium or Cultural Symposium on the occasion of the 48th anniversary of the glorious October War, therefore that destroyed the Israeli security theory, through each individual arm.
Right.
Pardon me. And defeated the army, which claimed that no one could be defeated. These messages are that the future of nations is only achieved through sacrifices and the blood of martyrs. Also, the president greeting the Arab nations because of their economically and military, they supported Egypt economically, military, and humanly during the October War and also during June 30th revolution. It is a symphony that happened in October War, because there are many missions for the many departments in the armed forces. One of these departments, it was the Chemical Warfare Department, because the Chemical Warfare Department has a mission in this war, and this mission is to prepare the armed forces to work under the conditions of enemies using of mass destruction weapons, and also it shared with initial infantry wave with which destroyed the strong points with light flamethrower, and also blinding the observation post and anti-tank guided projectile by using smoke missiles, and also hiding bridges from Air Force fighters, Israeli fighters, by hiding it with smoke. And also chemical warfare, it has a major role in taking now the role of chemical warfare is taking precautionary measures against the coronavirus through the implementations of sterilizations and disinfection measures for vital facilities such as mosques, churches, and also schools and many roads and squares that the chemical warfare department in peace, it has a major role, and in war also it has a major role.
Sir, talking about the 6th of October victory and how it is still source of inspiration to all generations to come. So if we're talking, and also the president tackled this actually during his speech, talking about those who did not witness this important event, and now it is our role to teach them and to tell them more about the Egyptian armed forces and more about such a great event that really changed the future of Egypt.
I think the youth is the future of Egypt, and who made this glorious war, October War, was youth, as soldiers and non-commissioned officers and officers, and who defeated terrorism in Sinai also was a youth, and who made now a mega project in all countries. They are youth. So the message of the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi yesterday was to assist them to war and to salute and creating the souls of martyrs and to give lessons that these martyrs sacrificed by their souls to benefit of our country. I think this educational seminar or symposium was contained a lot of messages for youth, for the Sinai people, for Arab people, and also for the Egyptian, and for the former command like Major General Samir Farag and Abdurrabbu Nabi Hafiz. All this was show the respect for the former leaders and the commander in the armed forces.
Right. Talking about also the public awareness of people during such a period of time, and how usually we see the harmony among Egyptians with all sects. Whenever we have a challenge, how Egyptian people stay together, work together, and follow their leaders as well.
This is very important question because we liberate Sinai from Israeli occupations by determination and by armed forces. Also eliminating terrorism in Sinai by youth and by determination and the spirit of October War. And now the armed forces made and supervise about a national companies reaches to 1,100 companies. They have more than 2 million engineers and workers. For that reason, for the sake and the benefits, and to make an opportunity, work opportunity for.
I think also talking about all the developments that took place in Sinai, that it is the second step after we could never have been able to do this without the 6th of October victory. Now we can see a different Sinai, we can see many mega projects taking place over there, a lot of things actually to serve people living in Sinai.
I think Egypt has a strategic plan to fight terrorism by military means and also by development. So there are many projects reaches to 312 projects costed more than 159 billion pounds. For that reason, the development is very sustainable. Development is very important, but for the armed forces, training also for the officers and the non-commissioned officers and troops, it's very important. And the command and the staff college that I honored by working as advisor in it. In October War, Lieutenant General Saad al-Shadli, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, assigned command and the staff to make what we call about directive operations, directive number 41, on 6,000 people to cross, how to cross a water barrier for a mechanized infantry division, and the role of every officer, non-commissioned officer, and every individual in how to cross the canal and how to climb the bear and how to fight and destroy the tank, the Israeli tanks and Israeli forces.
Well, of course, all the respect to the Egyptian armed forces. And when we talk about the relation between any of the armed forces leaders and his employees or people working with him, definitely this is another important part, because we can see this important relationship between the decision maker and people working, and how definitely the first thing or the priority is protecting Egypt. And I liked also, everyone was talking about the conversation took place between Major General Samir Farag and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. All the respect to this. And definitely we learned a lot. Many lessons were delivered during this.
I think there are many lessons learned from this conversation between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Major General Samir Farag. It shows the respect for the former leader. So, it shows also the ethics in talking with each other and the respect for each other. And there is a bond, there is a great bond, a strong bond between the armed forces and between also the civilians and the peoples of Egypt. And also it has a lot of respect to who is older more than us.
And talking about what we achieved, and just looking around at all the projects that took place nowadays, and how really Egypt now is, now it's a new Egypt. New in everything, whether we are talking about projects taking place all around, talking about new cities taking place, cities in Sinai, projects taking place over there, different kinds of investments taking place. How do you see all this today?
I think New Egypt is characterized by the respect between its peoples, by the mega projects all over the country, and also by many foreign countries wants to make joint training with each other, like Bright Stars on the last month, from the 2nd to 17th of September, and they come here to benefit from our experiment in the conditional wars and in fourth generation wars about fighting the terrorism. For that reason, Egypt now, because there is stability and there is security, so an investment and the door opens for investors, for foreign investors to come and invest here, and the environment is suitable for investment, and also the youth have many projects, have many opportunities to work in many projects, many goals in all over the country, and especially in Sinai, as I said before, because there is a stability in Sinai, so development and investment in Sinai occur. For that reason, the new Egypt is characterized by this action.
Right. College of Command and Staff Advisor Mohamed Shahawy, thank you very much for joining us. And I guess with this we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.